Good afternoon, football fans. Welcome back for another triple header this Saturday here in Rizal Memorial Stadium. I'm Vinny Vinculado alongside Diego Cordero for expert analysis, bringing you our first match of the day, Stallion Laguna FC versus Philippine Army FC. It is match number 28 for today. And Diego, looking at the historical matchups, Stallions have always had that upper hand in all their meetings with Philippine Army, winning every time they face so far. So on paper, Stallion Laguna are definitely the favorites today, but the big question is, can they keep that streak going against Philippine Army?
Yeah, as you mentioned, this is a match that has historically favored Stallion Laguna FC. They've played 8 times in the past, and Stallion Laguna FC have won all 8 times. 2 teams that actually lost last weekend, so that's why it's a little bit of a interesting matchup, but you do say that on paper, Stallion Laguna FC are the favorites, as we see our 2 teams that actually also want to bounce back from last week, because as last week happened, Stallion actually lost to Kaya 1-0, while Philippine Army lost to Maharlika. They lost 5-1. They finally got their first goal, but in the end of the day, they still lost. So 2 teams that will want to bounce back following defeats a week ago.
Definitely, Diego. As you mentioned, Stallion have been a bit inconsistent with their results, but lately they've been trying to bounce back, especially from that 1-0 loss against Kaya FC. So definitely gusto talaga nilang bumawi and get that 3 points as much as possible if they want to reach that top 4 spots. And just to recap, Stallion played against Kaya. They were really aggressive for like around 75 minutes until that 72nd minute volley from Eso that broke the deadlock. So with that said, you can see here in our screens the results from Stallion Laguna FC, and definitely they'd want to bounce back again here against Philippine Army.
Yeah, it's been a stop-start season for Stallion Laguna FC. So they've had 1 draw, 2 losses, and then 2 wins. So it's a little bit inconsistent for a team of their standards. They haven't won the big games against Kaya and also against Cebu. They lost. And then for Manila Digger, they conceded a last-minute equalizer. So they definitely do think that they want to be higher up in the table, as we see their lineup here. A very talented lineup for this Stallion Laguna team. Again, they have a very deep squad, and we're seeing it again here right now.
As you can see in the lineup, it is a 4-3-3 formation. You have the same forwards, the trio, Galiana, McDaniel, and Kedman. A very dangerous trio up front. And there is some changes here. We do see Farias and Shrock coming into the fray. And this is definitely a player to watch, Diego.
Yeah, definitely a player that is super familiar to all Philippine football fans. Stefan Schrock has played a good number of caps for the Philippine men's national team and has played across different teams in the PFL for a really long time now. So it's no surprise that we're going to mark him today as the player to watch from Stallion. Actually, he picked up a red card in Stallion's first match of the season. That's why we didn't see too much of him so far this season, but he is back now and he's going to start this afternoon.
I'm super excited to see what Shrock will have to offer in this match. So with that said, we'll throw it over to the coach for the interview.
All we have to do now is regroup, organize, and move forward. I mean, it's important that we stay within our system. I feel like we played well defensively last week. Besides that one mistake, I think we didn't deserve to lose. But hey, football's football. That's why you play the game. So we just have to rebound from that match and then play better today.
And there you have it, head coach Ernest Nieras, who said that he'd want to move on from that match and get those 3 points today. And again, Diego, they're actually tied, Stallion Laguna, with Dynamic Herb Cebu at 7 points. So definitely this match is really important.
Yeah, a win today for Stallion would actually make them go 3rd in the table, temporarily at least, because they played the first match this weekend. But 3 points today would be a very big boost for Stallion. Again, the race for the top 6 is very tight. That's why they need it today, this afternoon.
On the other side naman, Diego, we've got Philippine Army FC, who's actually had an extremely difficult start in their season, but they did get some sort of positive result. They scored their first ever goal in the season in their previous match. So, Diego, what will you think will happen, or any sort of predictions against Stallion Laguna for this one?
Yeah, so they've played 5 games this season, and unfortunately for them, they've lost all of those games. But you did mention last week they finally got off the mark in terms of goal scoring. So they got their first goal last week. But it was a performance last week that they actually could have scored more goals because they missed a penalty also and a few big chances. So there's definitely something in this Army team that makes them a little bit harder to play against going forward. But as you see their results so far this season, not promising at all. They'll definitely be hoping that last week's first goal of the season can help them bounce into life this season against this Stallion Laguna team, which on paper is the favorites for this one.
Again, for Philippine Army, they did concede just under 2 minutes against Maharlika FC. So definitely this is something that they'll be training for as much as possible. They want to not concede goals in the first early few minutes and hopefully try to keep the score 0-0 during the half. But as you can see here, we do have an interesting formation, 1-4-4-2 for head coach Ronel Henner. And roughly, it's the same lineup of players for today, except for John Saliz in exchange for Ryan Decena. Any thoughts on this lineup, Diego?
Yeah, it's the usual suspects for this Philippine Army team. We see the likes of De La Yarte, the goalkeeper, who's been their stalwart goalkeeper so far this season. But we also see up front there is Jimwell Ariola, who actually got that first goal against Maharlika last week. So he'll definitely be one of the outlets for this Philippine Army team, alongside the player who we've marked to watch from Philippine Army, which is player number 27, actually, Jimwell Ariola, because I did mention he did get that goal last week. He was their threatening player going forward. So he'll definitely be looking to bring more of that today, this afternoon.
Definitely Ariola, a man to watch, who scored against their previous kapunan. He scored in the 55th minute during that match. So with that said, let's hear what head coach Ronel Henner has to say for this matchup.
Supposed to be ang preparation namin is for Stallion Laguna is very high because si Stallion Laguna kasi is tough team. So hindi namin sila basta-basta ma-attack. So within 10 15 20 minutes siguro doon na namin ma-feel yung bigat ng Stallion Laguna, pero same time prepare kami diyan sa mga atake nila kasi malakas na team. So ang magiging expect lang namin sa kanila pag once na magka-hold kami ng bola at maka-counter, doon kami papasok sa nila, sa goal nila.
And there you have it from head coach Ronel Henner. He mentioned that Stallion is a very dangerous opposition. They have, the top 3 players up front who are very dangerous, fast, and clinical. So definitely they have prepared on the defensive front for Philippine Army.
Yeah, and he even mentioned that he's expecting for the first 10 to 15 minutes, at least in this opening half, that the Army side is really going to get tested by Stallion's attack, because we do know that Stallion's attack, that's their strong point in their squad. It's that they have a very dynamic front line, and it's going to test this Army back line right away following kickoff. So we'll see how Army cope with Stallion's attack.
So with that said, we'll have to see what these teams will do in this upcoming match. And we do have a lot of people streaming via YouTube. So we'll take a look at that.
A shout out to those of you who are tuning in. Again, a lot of Philippine football action over the next week or so. We have the Philippines-Uzbekistan friendly here in this stadium next Wednesday. That's for the women's senior team, so do come along and watch our senior team, which, let's not forget, is a World Cup level team. So do support them this Wednesday here at Rizal, 7 p.m. against Uzbekistan. It's a friendly match, but still something to be excited about.
Definitely, I'll probably watch that game as well. I'm just really excited on how football's really growing here in the Philippines. So I hope this momentum, the football community here, the players, it just gets better year per year.
Yeah, and before I do forget, let's also give a shout out to Manila Digger, who are currently in Cambodia for their AFC Challenge League campaign. They actually play tomorrow, then I believe they play on the 29th, and then I'm not sure when the date is, but they have a third and final match in their group in the Challenge League. They have to finish in the top 2. against their opponents so they can get into the next round. And it's good to see that a PFL team is in an international competition. Let's wish them the best for that Challenge League campaign.
Definitely, and it's really parang mapaproud ka talaga that you'd see top teams like Kaya, Manila Diggers, who's leveling up the game here in the PFL, joining international competitions. So definitely something to look forward to. Also, Diego, we'll also be having the FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup. Again, the Philippines is hosting this World Cup. If I'm not mistaken, it's starting at November 21. So please, please, please support our team there. And you can check it out at fifa.com/tickets. So with that said, we will leave it for the march-in. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, if you're just tuning in, we have Stallion Laguna FC versus Philippine Army FC. Starting off this triple header here at Rizal Memorial Stadium. So we do have our match officials here, referee Raymart De Los Santos, assistant referees Ryan Flores, Jose Magusara, fourth official Samuel Mendoza, and Roberto Hernandez. And as you can see here in our screens, the lineup for Stallion Laguna FC. And as mentioned, it is a very strong lineup. They didn't change much. So any thoughts of this? Are they really that eager to get the 3 points, Diego?
Well, it looks like they've gone full strength for this one. Actually, not surprised because they do want to pick up momentum and shoot up the table. Again, their next game is actually a tough game against Aguilas, so 3 points today will be very important for Stallion, and 3 points will be very important in general because of the league format. The top 6 race is going to be insanely close towards the busy end of the season. That's why every 3 points matters, and it's no surprise then that Stallion have gone full strength.
And then you also have Philippine Army with their first 11, only one change. Again, John Celis will be going in for Ryan Decena. And overall, just an exciting matchup for today. And just to share as well, after this match, Stallion versus Army, you do have Maharlika versus Mendiola at 5:45 p.m. and Tuloy versus Cebu. And we are just moments away from kickoff. Again, this is Stallion Laguna FC playing from left to right in their pink and white jersey, and Philippine Army FC in their green to black jersey playing from right to left. There you have it. Kickoff has started here for Philippine Army FC, who has again had a difficult season. We'll see if this matchup, kung pwede silang mag-comeback, kumbaga, ang Philippine Army, from the recent results that they have.
Well, for these opening 10 to 15 minutes, they're going to have to be really careful, because as you do know from Stallion, they do make good starts. Against Valenzuela PV Mendiola, Stallion made a really good start. So they have to be careful not to emulate that type of fragility at the back if you're Philippine Army. And again, last week they were also already down 2-0 and then 3-0 actually at 15 minutes. So they have to be very careful not to make a similar type of slow start in this afternoon's game.
Definitely, Diego. We heard it earlier. Head coach Ronel Hener mentioned na they prepared in the back line. Alam nila na yung koponan nila, Stallion Laguna, they're very aggressive, especially with the McDaniels and Shockey as well in the midfield. So we'll see if their defensive back will hold off the attack from Stallion Laguna.
Yeah, and this is going to be a good first test for Philippine Army's backline. A set piece early on. The height advantage is very clearly with Stallion.
Whips it in. Ooh, Shockey made contact with that.
Yeah, actually, Shockey, not the player you'd really expect to get on the end of crosses, but he actually looked like a free header there for Shockey. For Army, they're a bit lucky that that wasn't on target because it was quite close to the goal. Any header on target could have been dangerous.
And a miss. Long ball there, but Army struggling to keep possession, but it is an offside for Stallion.
Yeah, quite a late flag, but it was quite clearly offside from Finn McDaniel. Army actually they do like to do this. They like to push up the pitch, try and play their opponents offside, and they did it there.
But playing with that offside trap can be a bit risky at times if Stallion gets that through ball and timing right.
Well, Army still yet to really control possession because it's Stallion at the moment who are dominating the territory. Let's see if Army can maybe just calm down this passage of play a little bit.
Clearance there from Jemark Cortez. Shock with the ball, the left side. Two Army players on him.
Yeah, you can just see that Shock when he has the ball, he gets double teamed, but he does well there.
A chance here, maybe. Delivers it. Great save, Del Yarte.
Was Shock doing really well to dig out that pass to Kedman despite being outnumbered 2-on-1. And Kedman, you saw his good footwork there. He dug out the cross. In the end, it was straight to the goalkeeper, but that's promising from the winger of Stallion.
And we'll definitely see more of that. Shock connecting with the top three, Kedman, McDaniel, and Galiana.
Yeah, it looks like Shock's just been given this number 10 role for him to roam around the front line. And he's going to be hard to pick up for the Army defense this afternoon.
Great pass to Shock. McDaniel, maybe a chance already.
Was Shock there. Really good from Shock, playing as the connector between the midfield and the front line. Picking up that pass from Sendra in between the lines and then laying it off to McDaniel. McDaniel might actually be thinking that he could have gotten a better shot off. In the end, it just rolled out. Fortunate for Philippine Army that they weren't punished there.
These are very concerning from Army's end. A Stallion, as expected, will press really high.
Yeah, Army just have to be careful here not to get overwhelmed by Stallion's forward line because that's what they're doing at the moment.
Shock, great pass to Galiana, an open goal here. And it's a goal! Shock, as expected. In just under 5 minutes, Stallion Laguna FC leads 1-0 against Philippine Army.
Yeah, the Philippine Army backline, they had all the warnings they needed, but Strzok still punishing them. Goalkeeper nowhere on his goal line, and it was an open goal. Strzok's not going to miss from there. And just like that, it's 1-0 to Stallion Laguna FC. Really good cross by Galiana. That's now his 5th assist of the season for Stallion. Actually leads now on the assist tally for his team. And he gets another there for Strzok. And Strzok, despite the fact that he was pushed onto his weaker foot, does well to find the open net.
Great piece of play. And Strzok, you can see he did the fake. Got one defender out, and it just led him to score an easy goal. And this is bad signs for Philippine Army, as they did concede early on against Maharlika, and it has happened again here against Stallion.
Yeah, it's a common trend in this Army team. Unfortunately for them this season, they do make some slow starts to games, and it's continued again this afternoon. I think Army really don't want to relive that type of performance in the opening half. Again, last week against Maharlika, after 15 minutes, 3-0 na yung scoreline in favor of Maharlika. Army just have to be careful and do some damage limitation right now to make sure that the same thing doesn't happen the second week in a row.
Ball here, the middle of the park. Army trying to make something out of that. Pressing high, Army. Vasquez. No foul given for Sendra. Stallion trying to withstand the Army press. Army gets a throw in from that. Quick throw in. But great work there from Villarreal.
Good pressure there actually from Philippine Army, just putting a man towards the goalkeeper of Stallion, Landreth. Landreth, to be fair to him, actually kept possession of the ball, but in the end it's out for an Army corner. This could be a chance. It looks like they go short in this one. Actually, to be fair, Stallion were awake to that, so it looks like it's going to be sent in swinger. It's a bit tough because Stallion have the height advantage, but let's see what Army can do here.
Again, Army has no foreign players. Another corner kick here for Army. Salis whips it in. Ooh, a chance maybe. No one's there, no green shirt. Army. And a shot. Lack power there. Landreth easily gets it.
Yeah, the initial cross actually, or corner, created an opening, but no one there to turn it in for Army. In the end, the follow-up shot from Cel is a weak one to Landreth. It's going to take a lot more to beat Landreth, who's actually quickly becoming one of the PFL's top goalkeepers. Had a penalty save last week to go with his performance despite the loss.
An opportunity here. Thinks about taking the volley. Still keeping it. And it is a goal kick. Very interesting for Army. They're pressing really high against Stallion. And it has been working a bit for them.
Actually, these last 3 or 4 minutes, Army have been asking some questions to the Stallion backline. And they get position back here again.
Definitely a positive play for Army. Bring the fight naman, no? Contra Stallion Laguna. Ooh, great hustle there. Delivers it. Heads it in the middle. Army still moving forward with the ball. Ooh, a bit of a late challenge. No foul given.
There's actually a chance there for Roynick Bernardo, the left winger of Army. His header across was not bad, but he couldn't find a teammate. Again, these last 5 minutes or so, Army have been asking some really good questions. They've responded well to going behind, unable to take the advantage. They might be in here again though.
And it is a foul given. Villarreal took Salis down, and it's a free kick for the men in green.
Well, it's going to be another set piece for Army. They've been playing actually in the Stallion half for the past 5 minutes or so. I think this is a bit of an encouraging sign for our Army. Again, last week, once they conceded the goal, the floodgates did open, but it's good to see for their sake that the green shirts have responded decently since going behind. Let's see if they can put anything on the scoreboard from this sustained pressure. It's a set piece once again. It's going to be taken by Roykent Bedia.
Referee blows the whistle. Sendra clears it out of danger. An opportunity for a counter. Stallion. Shock still with the ball. Great cover there. Through ball to McDaniel. But it is offside once more.
Well, there you see it again, Army. Not afraid to try to play that offside trap. It worked there, but it's going to require some extra concentration for the whole game if they're going to do that for the whole 90 minutes. But it worked again on another occasion there.
Great passage of play for Philippine Army. Passing it around on Stallion's half.
This is actually good from Army. They've not done this so much this season, but they've actually maintained possession in their opponent's half.
This is definitely something you'd like to see for their side. Just trying to connect there with Bernardo Cortez.
Yeah, Stallion could just do with keeping possession for the next 2 or 3 minutes just to relieve some of that Army pressure. Here's Schrock in a pocket. Good acceleration. Could be in here.
Looking for a free man. Finds Sendra, but great tackle. Schrock. Ooh, just tried to find McDaniel there. Too strong of a pass.
Yeah, there's now a few occasions where Schrock tried to go direct to Finn McDaniel. Definitely a combination we'll see a lot more of this season and in this game.
Oof. Foul given. And it is in favor for Philippine Army. You see there head coach Ronel Hiner. Ooh, plays it fast. A chance on a volley, just missed the ball. Great opportunity there for Philippine Army.
Yeah, Roynick Bernardo timing his run well. Wasn't offside. Got in behind Rod Vasquez. That was a chance there. They might be in here again.
Outside of the box. Just over the crossbar. Great shot there, but it was just off target.
Yeah, a shot from downtown. In the end, it didn't test Landreth, but that's another moment where Army can say that it could have done better. It could have gotten the shot on target, but nevertheless, chances falling to both sides. But Army will be happy with the fact that they're creating openings.
Another missed pass here from Stallion. And Army's pressure has been working again.
Well, here is Sendra. Again, could just do with a good pass forward though.
Kedman on the left side. Looking for a player to pass it, but straight to Del Riarte. Alert to that cross.
Good hands from Del Riarte. He's gonna have to perform really well for the rest of this match if Army are gonna get anything.
Galiano on the right side, in the middle. Oh, Kedman, I think, pushed an Army player. That's why a foul has been given.
Yeah, Finn McDaniel actually opting to go for the dummy, assuming that Kedman was behind him. In the end, it's a foul, but that was a dangerous moment actually. Good cross from Galiana. Kedman just late to that challenge.
And it is a free kick here for Philippine Army. Yarte urging his team to move forward as he'll send it long. Army. Kedman pressuring. An opportunity here at the left side. Ooh, a weird bounce. Hits the crossbar. McDaniel. Another opportunity where Stallion couldn't convert.
That was really bizarre. In the end, it hit the post. Could have gone anywhere. Could have easily been 2-0.
Bit unlucky there. But you have Army on the other side. But Terrence Smith was there to take out the danger.
Well, here was the chance for Stallion. McDaniel from point-blank range might be thinking that he should have gotten his goal there. In the end, Army escape and dodge a bullet, and it's still 1-0, but Stallion might ramp things up now.
Sandra bring the ball forward. Tries to get it through Kedman.
Well, Kedman is fast, but not that fast. That pass from Sandra, just a little bit too heavy. Let's see, because it looks like Kedman has been the best outlet down that left. It looks like he'll definitely be testing that right back of Army for the rest of this game.
Stallion, an opportunity for them to take control of the game more. Schrock finds Sandra. Galiana with the ball. Great pass to McDaniel, and it's a goal! What a goal there, and build-up play from Stallion Laguna. It is 2-0 against Philippine Army.
Yeah, after hitting the post not too long ago, Finn McDaniel makes no mistake this time. Good pass through, and his pace just too much for the back line of Philippine Army. He's not gonna miss from there, and it's actually Galiana again. His second assist of this match and his sixth of the season. So Galiana, top assist for this team at the moment. There was actually a collision in the play earlier on, and that's why Schrock is actually on the ground at the moment. He's been on the ground for about a good minute now. But in the end of the day, it's now 2-0 to Stallion. They'll be happy with the fact that they've actually doubled their lead, because for the past 10 minutes, Army were asking some questions. But it's now 2-0, and they have that cushion now in the scoreline. Schrock is back on his feet, by the way, but he was floored earlier on in that play that led to Finn McDaniel's goal. He looks fine now, though, and it's 2-0 to Stallion Laguna. Finn McDaniel actually just gonna change his shirt here. Not too sure what that's about, but he gets his third goal of the season.
Great to see Schrock back up to his feet. And can I just say, that was a great build-up play from Stallion Laguna, which is expected of them.
Yeah, actually, the combination of Sandra and Schrock has been really good. The two PFL veterans, they've just played around this Army midfield. Smart passes between the lines from the two of them, and it's led to multiple chances from Stallion. It's probably going to happen more times in this 90 minutes given the quality of those two players, but they're doing really well just to control the match. I think Schrock is actually just going to take a breather a little bit because he was floored a few moments ago, but here's Sandra.
Galiana looking for McDaniel. Another strike on goal, but this time just above the crossbar.
Yeah, it's that combination again, Galiana to McDaniel, nearly getting the third goal of this match. In the end, McDaniel, I think the ball was just bobbling a little bit. That's why McDaniel, in the end, couldn't get it on target. But that's a good moment nonetheless for Stallion and Army. They did respond well to going 1-0 down, but going 2-0 down, looks like they've just been a little bit deflated from that result.
And you have it here, Diego. Possession. And it has been for Stallion most of the time with 57%, while Philippine Army has had 43% of possession.
Yeah, a lot of that is down to the duo of Shrock and Sendra. Just really smart with the ball, knows where all of their teammates are, and knows where to position himself. You actually look at Sendra, he's staying in that pocket that is hard to pick up if you're in the other team. Same with Shrock, who, by the way, is still holding his face, so I'm not too sure what happened to him, but he was floored for a good minute or two. And good touch by Coach Ernie.
Beautiful touch. That's definitely one of the highlights.
Again, Stallion do need to win this. Next game is very tough against Aguilas, and the league table is tight.
Puts it out of danger. Captain Jemark Cortez for Philippine Army, but a corner kick for Stallion.
Yeah, again, in their last corner kick, it was actually Shrock who got on the end of it. But they have some really tall players, especially Terrence Smith, who's an absolute unit at center back. He goes up for this corner. Itong si Terrence Smith actually has one cap for Barbados, the national team. So he's an international caliber of player, and he's going to go up for this corner for Stallion. Let's see if he can get on the end of it.
In the middle. Great save from Del Yarte.
Yeah, it was actually Ricky Sendra, the Argentinian, getting on the end of that cross. Heads it into the ground. It's a good save actually by Del Yarte from point blank range. Sendra might be thinking there he should have scored from that distance. In the end, it's a save from the goalkeeper. But another good moment and another good attack from Stallion. At the moment, it's one-way traffic towards the pink shirts.
You can see the sun is out. Mas uminit dito sa Rizal Memorial Stadium. So a goal kick here for the men in green. Army in possession. Still keeping it. Guzman feeds it to the left side. Bernardo to the middle and a shot taken. Great chance there for Army.
Actually, good combination from Bernardo and Nico Palacio. In the end, Palacio's shot not strong enough to beat Landreth. But that's actually now the second occasion I count that Bernardo has penetrated the back line down his left-hand side. So that's definitely an avenue for Philippine Army for the rest of this match.
And this is very positive play for Army. Usually you'd see them long ball and then just get the play from there. But in this match, you'd see that they're really trying to keep possession from defense to midfield and attack. And I hope this is something we'll see in the upcoming fixtures. So very positive note for Philippine Army.
Yeah, actually last week at this point it was already 3-0 to Maharlika, but the difference is in this match, Army actually have created one or two good openings that they couldn't take advantage of. Not something to be too pleased about, but it is a silver lining from an Army perspective. Definitely there is something for them going forward. Let's just see if they can have that clinical edge in the final third.
Juliana over Kedman. Ooh, a bit of a collision between Del Yarte and Kedman.
Kedman actually getting first to that ball, but he might have hurt himself. He collided with the goalkeeper. It's not a penalty because the ball was already out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. But that was a good moment from Kedman getting in behind. Again, one of the pacier players in this lineup. And he was using his pace well there. Good pass also to find him in behind.
See Del Yarte charging, going outside. His box. Unlucky the ball didn't go in there.
Again, the heat starting to pour onto the pitch now. Might actually be a problem for goalkeepers if the sunlight suddenly skews their vision. Let's see if it affects this game, because the sun is out really intensely at the moment.
Pati dito sa grandstand, definitely feel the heat. So paano pa kaya the players in the pitch? We are 25 minutes into this match. Stallion leading 2-0 against Army.
Yeah, goals so far. One from Finn McDaniel, the other from Schrock. That's why it's 2-0 at the moment.
Army moving forward. Place it wide. The box. Nandres called to action there. Great chip to Gallana from Schrock. Feeds it to Kedman. Keeper's also out here. De La Yarte.
I think a foul was called for an earlier collision. The referee just played advantage for a short moment there. I think a foul was on Schrock, who's actually gone back to the Stallion bench. I think he's still reeling from that effect, from whatever floored him earlier on. As you can see him icing his head. I'm not too sure exactly what happened, but it's been an issue he's been dealing with now for a few minutes.
Ball with the pink shirts. The left side here. Nieras. To Farias. Gives it to Vasquez. Good move. Ooh, tried to get that through ball to Gallana. But it was straight at De La Yarte.
Yeah, good first touch from Vasquez to take it past his defender, but the second just couldn't find Gallana. Again, Gallana now 6 assists this season. That's the most among any Stallion player.
Throw in here for Philippine Army.
Again, Philippine Army rock bottom in the PFL so far until last week, or after last week rather. They're now the only team in the PFL that are still winless, because Don Bosco Garelli, who were with them in that record, finally got their first win last week. So Army, definitely not a record they want to hold on for that long. Still searching for their first win this season, as they have a player down actually. It's Catinao.
Joshua Gatinao, currently receiving treatment from the medical team.
It looks like this might be an impromptu water break also, so a chance for both coaching staffs to give their players new instructions.
Schrock getting a bit of treatment as well.
Well, actually, it looks like Army are going to be readying a substitution. Gatinao has walked to the bench. Let's see who comes on for him, the number 24. And maybe for the next minute or two, Philippine Army are going to have to play with a man less. Might actually be something that Stallion will try to take advantage of if they realize they have a man advantage. Actually, the referee is going to allow the substitution now.
So it is confirmed.
Substitution for Philippine Army FC.
It is Joshua Gatinao will be subbed off. And it is Nestorio
Player
Margares
number 24,
Jr.
Joshua Gatinao, replaced by player number 23, Nestorio Margarse Jr.
Play resumes here. John Solis thinks about sending it. Great interception. Schrock.
What a pass.
Through ball to Galiana, the right side. And an opportunity! Ooh. Great shot there by McDaniel again. But De La Riarte was up to it.
That's 3 big chances now for Finn McDaniel. Could have been on a hat trick on another day. In the end, it's a save by De La Riarte. Definitely the type of chance you see McDaniel taking advantage of. So it's no wonder he's their top scorer this season. By the way, Schrock is still reeling from something in the half line as this corner comes in.
In the middle. Sendra takes it. Just over the bar. Shot off target.
Well, I'm just looking at the technical area of Stallion. I think they're going to consider an early substitution for Stefan Schrock, because someone is handing the paperwork to the 4th official, usually the sign of the substitution. Referee is going to stop play here, I think, to allow this substitution.
Very unfortunate if Schrock gets subbed off, but he does. He has been playing pretty well, that midfield role. Stefan Schrock supplying the forwards. And most of the attacking play does come from him alongside Sendra.
Yeah, he got the first goal of this match, but it's quite unfortunate that after only 31 minutes, he's going to come off. Again, he also got the red card in the game between Manila Digger and Stallion, so he's not played a lot of minutes this PFL season. Stefan Schrock, he'll be disappointed to come off so early. But again, if it is injury related, you do imagine that they don't want to take any risks with a player like that.
And as it stands, they are a man down. Stallion Laguna.
Yeah, it looks like the substitution is ready the moment the ball goes out of play.
Foul given here. And it's in favor of Stallion Laguna. McDaniel behind the ball.
Again, obvious targets are Sandra and Smith, who tower over the Army backline. Let's see if McDaniel can find either of those two or anyone else in a pink shirt.
Referee blows the whistle. McDaniel curls it in to Smith. Got contact, but it is off target. Darren Smith.
Yeah, good movement there actually from Smith, just peeling off the last defender. But in the end, I think he was a bit unsighted, because just looking at the way he was looking at the ball, I think the sunlight may have gotten in his eyes. Again, it is really hot at the moment.
Ooh, here the left side. Bit of a battle there. Vasquez. Back to Villarreal. And now you see a more composed Stallion Laguna compared to the early minutes of the match. They are now controlling the game. Ooh, what a move. Vasquez gets it to the right side. Passes it back. Recycling the play, Stallion. Ooh, ooh, what a move. It gets caught. A chance here on the opposite side. Running for the ball. Doesn't get it. Ariola.
It's actually unfortunate there. Again, Stallion are down to 10 men at the moment. If Army just played their cards right every time they get the ball, could have been something in. In the end, that pass was overhit. By the way, it looks like Stallion have made a last-minute decision to change their substitution. Earlier it was Peña coming on, but now it looks like it's someone else coming on.
We'll just wait for the confirmation on the substitution in a bit. Pressure here from Army. Sandra looking forward. Heads it out of danger. Kedman with the ball. McDaniel takes it from a very far area.
Substitution
Very
for
ambitious shot.
Stallion Laguna FC. Player
it is
number
confirmed, we do have
Stefan
substitution.
Schrock, replaced by player number 24,
It is-
Denzel Vasquez.
It is Denzel Vasquez substituted in for Stefan Schrock.
Yeah, he looks like he'll just go into that number 10 role. So let's see if he can emulate the role Schrock was playing, just playing connector between midfield and attack, picking up those smart positions.
We do have two Vasquez on the field
Yeah,
for
that's
Stallion
right.
Laguna. Sandra, the left side, looking for someone to pass to. Great clearance there from Jamar Cortez, out for a corner kick.
Yeah, good play from Ricky Sender, winning back the ball, then crafting across, eventually wins the corner. Again, it's going to be another chance for the likes of Smith and Sendra to get on the end of this delivery from Finn McDaniel. Again, just look at Smith, he towers over his markers.
In the middle, Villarreal tries to get that in. Couldn't get enough contact, ball was too high. Pressure still on with the men in pink. Crosses it in. Ooh, bit of uncertainty from De La Liarte. So gets it though. Ooh, Kedman pushes forward. Couldn't find McDaniel. Possession back with Stallion. Sandra feeds it forwards to Kedman. Try to get a shot in. McDaniel again. Taking a couple of shots way outside of the box. Just off target.
Well, that's not the second time McDaniel has found a lot of space around that area, and if Army keep giving him that space, he is gonna fire one of those long shots in towards the goal. He has done it before. Army just have to be careful now not to lose this game by too much. Control at least their standing at the moment. They are 2-0 down, but they have stopped the bleeding at the moment, because at the moment I think it was at this point last week and in their previous matches against Wantagig where they lost 13-0. I think at this point they were conceding chance after chance after chance. So they just have to be careful as there's a foul.
Going back to McDaniel, if he sees open space, he'll just take the shot. And that's what you want in a forward.
Yeah, again, McDaniel, Stallion's top goal scorer in previous seasons. Their top goal scorer at the moment, if my stats are correct, according to Transfermarkt.
Villarreal tries to give it to Sandra. Army's defense was up to it, but pressure still mounting. Galeana in the middle, but it is straight for Del Yarte, who's had a busy day here in the office.
Yeah, just looking at Stallion's midfield, allowing them to control the game. It's because they're allowed to find pockets like this where there's no one marking from Army. Smart positioning from the likes of Sendra and Vasquez, and earlier on Shrock.
And as well as players off the ball. It's the runs Kedman, McDaniel, Galliana makes that really gives an attacking opportunity for Stallion.
McDaniel there with another big chance, getting on the end of that Kedman cross. That was a good moment for McDaniel, but unable to take advantage of it. Now here's Army.
Army moving forward here. Most of their attacks do come from the left side. Yana luckily gets the ball to Kedman. An opportunity here, takes it. Great save again from De La Riarte.
Well, a player as quick as Kedman, if you give him space, he's gonna run away from you. He is rapid, got in behind there in the end, just forced a little bit wide, and that's why the shot went straight to De La Riarte. But Army are gonna have to keep a closer eye on him if they're not to concede any more goals. Again, Kedman, a really top player, has experience in the youth programs of Chelsea and West Ham, +1 cap for Trinidad and Tobago. So it's no wonder that he's a player full of quality. Actually read somewhere that he's obsessed, or he grew up obsessed with five-a-side football and street football in England. And you can definitely see it in the way he plays football.
Five-a-side, very tight space. An opportunity here for Kedman. Passes it back to McDaniel, but McDaniel just miscontrols it. Gives it away. And it was another chance for them to build on their 2-0 lead.
Well, Kedman was unselfish, but maybe he could have been better off just taking the shot, because the pass, I think McDaniel was also expecting him to take the shot. That's why he wasn't ready to receive that pass.
Gulat din si McDaniel with that. But attack after attack. The Stallion Laguna moves forward. Galliana with a pass. Sandra outside of the box tries to connect.
Well, it's relentless pressure at the moment from Stallion. Army, earlier in the first half, they were actually creating chances, but at the moment, they're just trapped in their own half, unable to find their final third. High pressure from Stallion is the reason why.
Finally, De La Riarte gets the ball. Gives a room for them to breathe a bit. Army sends it forward with a volley. Finds Darren Smith as he heads it. Vasquez, it's a new substitute. Tries to feed it to McDaniel. Cortez was there. Great run from Kedman from that throw-in. Keeps the ball. Passes it back. McDaniel. Great save again from De La Riarte.
It's turning into a personal battle now between McDaniel and De La Riarte. Once again, it's a save from the goalkeeper.
Ooh. Appeals for handball. Not given by Raymond De Los Santos.
And the referee was in a good position to see that. In the end, opting not for the penalty. I think the referee would have just said that the position was just too close to call a penalty.
You have to clear that out. A lot of pink shirts. Sandra thinks about it. Takes it. I think it was deflected off an Army player. You see Sandra.
Yeah, actually, the initial clearance from Army, really poor. It went straight to Sendra. And Ricky Sendra does like to get on the score sheet. Definitely not a player you want to give the ball away to, as we see the confirmation of
There will be a
additional
minimum of
minutes.
2 minutes of additional time.
McDaniel. Ooh. What an opportunity there. Galiana heads it at an open goal. I think De La Riarte miscalculates that one.
Yeah, actually, I think if that header from Galiana is anywhere on target, it's an instant goal. Because no one on the goal line also, including the goalkeeper. Actually, Army might just be really lucky that they're not 3-0 down at the moment. For them, it's about getting to halftime without conceding anymore and then regrouping.
Ooh. Bit of a collision there. That is Gabriel Farias. Down on the pitch. Battling out with Jim Ariola, who did score in their previous matchup. A chance here. Great clearance from Jemar Cortez.
Well, with just under 40 seconds to go, Army will be really disappointed if they concede a goal in these last moments. Again, for them, it's about regrouping at the halftime break with the scoreline not getting any worse. But it might do so here.
Yana sends it to Vasquez. Vasquez to the middle. Couldn't find a pink shirt. Finds a green one instead to clear it out. Again at the right side. He'll have a go again once more. But it is straight at De La Riarte. It looked like it was going in.
Yeah, it was just
from
one of
my angle.
It was just one of those crosses that turned on target. Goalkeeper having to backpedal a little bit. But it is halftime now. And it was a good half from Stallion. But Army, there was maybe a 10 to 15 minute period where you thought they could have created a goal scoring chance. In the end, Stallion did take theirs while Army didn't, and that's why it's 2-0.
Philippine Army FC.
And there you have it. Stallion Laguna FC leading at the halftime 2-0. It was McDaniel in the 18th minute and Schrock in the 5th minute against Philippine Army.
With the handle at VRPFL.
Yeah, it has been a good half in general for Stallion. Again, they did lose last week, so they want to bounce back from that loss. And they have a tough run coming up in this PFL season, so any good performance is crucial for Stallion. And at the moment, they're halfway through that. Army at 2-0 down. It is a tough mountain to climb, but it's not over yet. Again, they did create some chances in the opening half. Let's see how the second half pans out.
So with that said, please do stay tuned for the second half. We are PFL. And we are back here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is Stallion Laguna FC leading 2-0 in the halftime against Philippine Army FC. And Diego, it has been one-way traffic for Stallion Laguna contra Philippine Army. And I think this is something that we'll see coming into the second half.
Yeah, it's been a good half in general for Stallion. Took the first goal, and then there was a little bit of pressure from Philippine Army actually, but they didn't create any real goal scoring opportunity in that first half. Here was the first goal from Stefan Schrock off the cutback from Galiana, booting it into an empty net. Stefan Schrock would go on to get subbed due to injury, I believe, but he did score the first goal. McDaniel really testing the goal line of Army multiple times. Then I think eventually this was the goal from McDaniel actually, yeah, off the through ball from Galiana, and that's why it made it 2-0 to Stallion.
And you do see some hints of attacking build-up play for Philippine Army. A bit of opportunities. As you can see there, a shot just outside the box. But for most of the match, it has been Stallion Laguna who's had a lot more shots, had more possessions, and was really dominant in the first half against Philippine Army.
Yeah, it was mostly Stallion playing in their own final third. In the half of Army, you can see they controlled the possession. 61% of it. And then the shot count is heavily in Stallion's favor.
It is 23 shots, a staggering amount against Philippine Army's 4. And 14 of them were on target for Stallion Laguna. And they've also had a couple of corners, 4-2 for Philippine Army. And sometimes Philippine Army's offside trap works, catching Stallion Laguna with 2 offsides and equal fouls for both teams, 5-5.
Yeah, it has been a physical match actually. No cards yet for either side. But if the fouls do continue, I'd imagine that there will be cards later in the second half. So far though, it's been Stallion's game this afternoon.
And we'll see if there are changes into the halftime. Going into the second half, you have here Stallion Laguna on your screens. Again, very dominant display against Philippine Army. And looking at the table, this is very positive sign for them. Again, they are tied with Dynamic Herb Cebu. And if this match goes on in their favor, they'll have extra 3 points for Stallion Laguna, while for Philippine Army, still, they are winless. They've lost all of their matches. And the best that they can do, honestly, in this match is not to concede any more goals.
Yeah, it starts with that. Then if they get that goal, then they could build on from there. But at the moment, it's 2-0 in favor of Stallion. At the moment, as things stand, Stallion will actually go third, temporarily at least, in the table. And they would leapfrog the teams from 5th to 3rd if that's the case. Again, it's going to be a very tight race for the top 6.
And we do want to share, again, there is a women's friendly versus Uzbekistan for our national team. It is on October 29, so do support them. The kickoff time is at 7 p.m. And again, the Philippines hosting the FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup from November 21 to December 7. So do make sure to support this upcoming tournament. And as you can see here in your screens, I think these are, not sure if they're substitutions, but that's Zhang and Belgira, jersey number 30 and 22. And we're just moments away from the second half kickoff here at Rizal Memorial Stadium. Again, my name is Vinny Vincolado alongside Diego Cordero with the expert analysis, bringing you for today's matchup. And again, today is a triple header, Diego. We do have Maharlika versus Mendiola right after this match, and Tuloy versus Cebu later tonight.
Substitution for Stallion Laguna FC.
And yes, these are substitutions.
Player number 27, Aaron
Confirmed.
Vasquez, replaced by player number 22, Kovici Belgira. Another substitution for Stallion Laguna FC. Player number 18, Gal Farias, replaced by player number 30, Patrick Zhang.
You have Patrick Pierre Zhang and Belgira substituted in for Stallion Laguna. And we're just waiting for the referee to blow his whistle to start the second half. Again, if you're tuning in, this is Stallion Laguna FC versus Philippine Army FC. Stallion Laguna leading 2-0. And this is the second half of this match. Here, Army with the ball. More energetic now. Moving forward, Bernardo. A handball there from Terrence Smith earns them a free kick. Bit of a dangerous area here for the men in green.
Yeah, definitely a shooting position if a shot is to be taken from Army. Or I guess from that position, it looks like the cross could be on also. Could be an opening here for Philippine Army if they can get this right.
So we'll see Philippine Army can make something out of this. They did have their first goal of the season in their previous outing against Maharlika. You have two players behind the ball. That's Roy Kent Udia. Philippine Army with the free kick. Direct shot. Great save from Landreth.
Yeah, decent effort from Jimwell Ariola, the number 27. Again, he is the only Army player to have scored this season. The guy on target there.
Foul has been given. I think it was Galiana with his outstretched arm, putting a Army player down.
Well, Galiana is arguing his case, but there is an Army player down. Not too sure what actually happened exactly there, but nevertheless, it's a free kick to Army. The player of Army is still on the deck. I think he's just slowly getting back to his feet now.
Hopefully he's okay. This did come off from a goal kick. You see Galiana and De Guzman having at it.
I think there was just a stray arm from Galiana, just trying to protect the ball, so there's no actual malice intended in that collision, which is probably why there's no card shown by the referee.
Gemma Cortez sends it long. Finds nobody. Stallion. Opportunity for them to build all the way from the back. Foul given. And it is in favor to Stallion. Playing at the other side. Great pass to Galiana. Got Nick there. In the middle, Sandra. Cortez was there to clear it out. Stallion again here. As expected. Moving forward. Lays it off to McDaniel and a shot taken. Just off target.
Yeah, that is the type of range McDaniel usually scores from. He's actually had a lot of chances already in this game to get more than just this one goal. You do imagine that more chances will continue to fall to him for the rest of this match. Again, he is the current top scorer of the Stallion team, and it's actually no surprise because chances do seem to just fall to him at any given moment.
Army keeping possession. Smith against Salis. See the big height difference there.
Yeah, and Smith, actually, despite the fact that he is really tall, he's actually really quick as well, as we saw there.
Fast feet from Kedman. Will he deliver it in the middle? So gets it and an opportunity! And it's another goal for McDaniel.
Yeah, great footwork from Kedman. I mentioned earlier, you could see that he had a background in five-a-side football or street football in England. And he creates a really good opportunity for Finn McDaniel. And Finn McDaniel is not going to miss from there. And he gets his second of this match. Now on a hat-trick for the rest of the second half. But it's 3-0 to Stallion Laguna FC. And you imagine at this scoreline, it puts it out of sight now for Philippine Army.
Great feed there from Kedman, just finding McDaniel as he cuts it back. And McDaniel just slots it deep to the right-hand side corner of the goal. Del Yarte couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and we were talking about it earlier, but you could see the acceleration from Kedman. Just too much for Philippine Army to deal with.
And as it stands, it is 3-0. In the second half, Stallion Laguna leading. Keeper call to action. Landres. Not as busy as Del Yarte of Philippine Army. Sendra looks for Vasquez. Great tackle there for the man in green. Great pressure from Stallion. But possession remains. The throw in for Army.
Well, it's relentless stuff from Stallion. You do imagine they'll also look at this match, or the rest of this match rather, as an opportunity to bolster their goal difference. Again, there is a scenario this season where goal difference is a tiebreaker. So that's why Stallion probably want to get more goals for the rest of this match.
Army tries it here at the right side. Ariola. I think that was a miss pass there. And a chance for Stallion to move forward on the other side of the pitch. Finds Kedman. McDaniel hits the woodwork. Another chance here. Takes it. Second time around. McDaniel, another goal against Philippine Army.
And he gets his hat trick for this match. Continues to add to his tally as the top scorer for Stallion. The first shot hit the woodwork, but fortunately for him, it bounced back to him. And second time around, he was not going to miss from there. And it's now 4-0. And at the moment, the floodgates are opening in favor of Stallion.
Goal for
See
Stallion
there, it
Laguna
hits the woodwork,
FC
but
by player
Kedman
number 14.
passes it back to McDaniel.
McDaniel.
Shot at the same position where it hit the woodwork first. Here's a quad vision replay of that.
Yeah, and that's actually another assist now for Kedman. So he's tallying up in that regard as well. So it's promising stuff for the front line of Stallion.
High pressure from Stallion. Galiana. Bit of a nutmeg there, I think. And a foul given.
Well, for Army, they just have to be careful now that the floodgates don't open up entirely. Again, they're coming off a 5-1 loss to Maharlika. But then before that, it was a 13-0 loss to Wantagig. And they don't want to concede too many goals because it just makes them look not the best in that regard. They want to make the scorelines respectable, at least if they are going to lose a game. But at the moment, it's all Stallion.
McDaniel here. Who's their usual free kick taker. Definitely will put this in the box. Delivers it in. Headed out of danger, Philippine Army. And the chance may be in the counter. Ariola puts it on the other side. Keeper going out of his box to clear that out. Landres was alert to that.
Yeah, Landres hasn't had to do much in this game, but that was actually alert sweeper keeper action from him there. Actually, I think for Landres, the only thing in his mind is that he wants to keep his clean sheet intact. Same thing will be on the mind of the defenders of Stallion, because it would be a good barometer, always a good barometer to keep a clean sheet in any match.
Definitely, especially for a match like this where you've dominated the game all throughout. You want to have that clean sheet. But Army could take that away against Stallion. They do have chances, especially in the early minutes of this match. Miss pass there. Zhang finds Kedman. Again, Kedman dangerous here. The left flank in the middle.
Another dangerous moment from Kedman, digging out the cross. This time, no one on the end of it, but he is creating a lot of chances for Stallion. You do imagine that for the rest of the season, also he'll be an important player. As we see a good switch there from Army.
Army now trying the other side in a dangerous area. Villarreal was there to head that one out.
It's actually a good cross from Army. Could have tested the backline of Stallion there. In the end, they get a corner kick, so they are still on the offensive. I think they are going to chase that consolation goal just to make the scoreline a little bit more dignifying towards the end of this match.
And if you're Army, you have small moments like this. And this is something they should definitely capitalize on. Especially from this corner kick that they don't get that much often. Chancelis crosses it in. Finds nobody. Galliano now with the ball on the counter for Stallion. See Kedman running forward. Will he beat the Army defense? McDaniel has it, and it's another goal for McDaniel. Great counter there from Stallion.
Well, you saw it again there. Once again, it's Stallion's pace on the transition. That's just too much to deal with for Philippine Army. It was Kedman initially in behind. Rapid from Kedman, and then McDaniel cleaning up that chance. He wasn't going to miss an open goal, and he gets his fourth of this match, really adding to his tally. And Stallion really adding to their goal difference now. 5 goals to add, and it's been the perfect afternoon for them.
And it's that trio up top. You have Galliana, through ball to Kedman. Kedman actually getting most attraction from the Philippine Army defense. McDaniel with composure gets that goal. Beautiful work on the attacking front for Stallion Laguna. Seems like a devastating result here. Once more for Philippine Army. Down 5-0. Could be 6 with this attack. Galliana tried to get past Jemar Cortez. Opportunity here maybe for the men in green. If they play their cards right on this attack. Too strong of a pass there. Trying to get it through Roynick Bernardo.
Well, there's going to be a roll of the dice from the Army coaching staff because there are going to be a triple substitution momentarily. Let's await confirmation who for. But for Army, again, at one point of this match when it was still 1-0 to Stallion, there was a moment where they were creating a few openings. Couldn't take any of them, and at the moment, it's opposite for Stallion, taking all their chances.
And Kedman here, just offside, unlucky.
Substitution for Philippine Army FC.
And it is confirmed, you do have your substitutions.
Player number 28, John
Philippine Army.
Celis, replaced by player number 99, Brian Anthony Desena. Player number 31. Player number 31,
You do have
Roy Kenbenita
Brian
replaced by player
Anthony
number 90,
Decena
Renz Paul Gumban.
substituted in
And
alongside
player number
Renz
26,
Paul
player number
Gumban.
8, Nicanor Palacio
And Jesse
Jr.
Kyle
replaced by
Belgira.
player number 26, Jesse Kyle Belgira.
Just to add a bit more energy in their 11 in this second half.
Yeah, a little bit of squad rotation also now for Philippine Army. Maybe a chance for those players on the bench to make a case to start their next match. By the way, Philippine Army's next game is against Tuloy, which is a match that is slightly more favorable in that regard, not against one of the established big teams of the PFL. But definitely for this match, at the moment, it's all Stallion Laguna FC.
Ball here in the left side.
Oh,
Palacio. Oof. Ran out of grass there.
I think sayang yun na kasi he did get behind Villarreal. I think any touch to have kept it on the pitch and he would have been through. In the end, it went out for a goal kick. Again, before they scored their first goal last week, it was pointed out by our colleague Jing, as there's a chance here. I'll get back to this momentarily. As I was saying, pointed out, oh, well, there might be a chance yet again for Stallion.
Kedman, another offside, unfortunately. I think this is your chance, Jacko, to share your sentiments.
For Philippine Army, it was pointed out quite a while ago that they hadn't scored before last week for a year and 4 months in the PFL. Granted, they did take a hiatus from the PFL. They finally did get that first goal last week. I was hoping, or maybe Philippine Army was hoping really, that for their sake it would have kickstarted something. Again, they have created some openings in this match, so there is a possibility of a goal for Army, but at the moment it's Stallion taking advantage of the defensive fragility of Philippine Army, as there's a contested offside call there.
You could see the appeals from Stallion Laguna's bench. Ball was rolling for that free kick. Raymar de los Santos blows his whistle to retake that one.
It was Finn McDaniel who was offside. But again, he's already on 4 goals. Looks like he wants to get more. He's gonna really help his case, those 4 goals, to finish high up in that Golden Boot race, which I'm sure he is thinking of winning overall.
Terrence Smith against Jimwell Ariola. Foul has been given.
Well, Ariola and Terrence Smith, 2 units. Definitely don't want to get in a scrap with either of them. But there is a chance here for Army to cross it in. Maybe a slightly bit too far for a shot, but it's a chance to flood the Stallion penalty area.
It is Nestorio Margars who will be taking this free kick. Bit of talks there. The referee with Terrence Smith and Jimwell Ariola. Whips it in. Finds nobody. Ball up in the air. Could be anyone's. Takes it. But a block from Terrence Smith.
This is where Army have to be careful because, again, there is a possibility for the pacey counter-attack.
Great clearance there from Army defense. Diarte boots that out. Chance for Stallion. And an offside there from Kedman.
Yeah, Kedman just momentarily switching with Galiana now at the right wing and Galiana now at left winger. Again, those two have been really good in supplying chances for McDaniel.
Appeal for handball, none given. Great switch of play to Kedman. The far side of the pitch. 1v1. In the middle. Too far for McDaniel to head that one. Sendra. Now Vasquez, the left side, moving forward. Zhang sends it again to Kedman. Stallion Laguna slowly moving forward. In the box. Del Diarte. Routinary save.
There's a chance actually for McDaniel lurking behind De La Yarte. Good cross from Kedman. Again, it's those two continuing to combine, building that chemistry.
Great passage of play. And passing from Army. Keeping it in a tight space. Hope they can switch the play here. Trying to play it around. Bit of tugging, pushing and pulling here.
And Matt Nera is just saying, just showing the shirt pull. It was a foul from Army. Matt Nera is saying, have my shirt.
I think that was against Ryan Anthony De Sena, who just got substituted in. A lot of action for him in the second half. Ooh, Sandra's down.
I think there was just a stomp, a late stomp. No foul called. Sandra did go down quite quickly. Stallion will definitely hope he's okay. He is one of their crucial players. And it's just gonna give a chance for both teams actually now to have a temporary water break. Again, it is really hot, so do stay hydrated.
And not sure what the ref will call with this one. Again, if you're just tuning in, it's Stallion Laguna leading in the second half. 5-0 against the Philippine Army.
Yeah, the 4 goals from Finn McDaniel, plus the early goal from Stefan Schrock. That's why it's 5. Again, Finn McDaniel gonna help himself in the Golden Boot race. He didn't win it last season. Last season it went to Saiko Sise from Manila Digger. But Finn McDaniel will definitely fancy himself for that race.
Galiana. Zhang. Trying to get a pass to Galiana. A chance here. McDaniel again! Gets it in! 5 goals, I think, Diego, for McDaniel.
Yeah, and it's actually a 3rd assist now from Trujillo, or Galiana rather. But again, perfect afternoon for Finn McDaniel. 5 goals, 5-star performance from him. And now he is really helping himself in that Golden Boot race. But at the moment, it's 6-0. As we see the quad vision replay, good work from Galiana to dig out the cutback, and McDaniel unguarded, probably the player you want to guard the most. But he had an easy finish, no chance for the goalkeeper. And it's 6-0. And at this point, it's all Stallion Laguna adding to their goal difference. It could get worse. The floodgates are open now, wide open from Philippine Army.
It is 6-0 here. Stallion Laguna leading against Philippine Army. It is a lot of goals into this match. We are 70 minutes in. And Army gives it away as Kedman brings it forward. McDaniel Passes it to Kedman. One v one here. The left side crosses it in. Too strong of a pass. Recycling the play, Stallion. Galiana takes a shot. Ooh. Great opportunity there for Galiana to put his name in the score sheet, but off target.
Well, you do imagine Galiana now with 3 assists. He probably wants to get on the score sheet as well.
Ako naman daw.
Yeah.
Same with Kedman as well. Both wingers put in the work to assist. And they have been replicating that play, Kedman and Galiana. Cutting it back to McDaniel. And a bit of a collision there.
I think there was just a high boot there against Vasquez. That's why he's on the deck. But no foul called by the referee. Let's see the replay actually. What happened? Looked like a really high
Oh, it is.
foot to the hip. Studs showing. No call from the referee.
And for me, that warrants a yellow card at least. I mean, you got your studs up.
Some dark arts there from Zhang. By the way, there'll be a substitution for Stallion.
FC. Player number 11, Diego Trujillo, replaced by player number 10, Papi Vanovsky.
It is confirmed. You have Christian Nicolas Ivanovsky substituted in for Galiana. And again, Galiana, Trujillo. What a performance from him, Diego.
Yeah, no goal to show for it, but he has 3 assists today, and that's a really good tally from the Mexican winger. He'll be happy with this performance today.
Hopefully, they could also have this performance in their next match. Delivers it in. Looking for Ariola. And a shot. Tried to take that volley on. Philippine Army. That was Nico Palacio. Just couldn't get the timing right.
And again, for Stallion, their next game is a tough one against Aguilas, who are actually above them on the table. So they'll be hoping to carry some good momentum into that match. Actually, for Stallion, if I remember correctly, they haven't won a big match this season. They've lost twice to Kaya and I believe to Cebu, and then they drew to Manila Digger. So they definitely want to get off the mark in terms of big matches.
Definitely, if you want to make it to the top 4, you have to make those matches count with big teams like Manila Digger and Kaya. And matches like these can definitely help them build that momentum, working towards and winning against big teams.
On the other hand, for Army, it's Tuloy next, which is a more favorable matchup as we see some contentions here from the Army side. Oh, good turn. Ooh.
No foul given, or maybe an advantage. Vanovsky, the right side, very fast as well, feeds it. Keeper was up to it. John Kent de la Riarte. And this is what's difficult for Philippine Army. It's the counter-attacks that get them. And the fast wingers. You can see here Ivanovsky connecting with McDaniel. Delivers it in.
I think it's an absolute privilege for Stallion to have a player like Ivanovsky on the bench. Again, this is a former Argentina youth player. He played across Argentina in his career now with Stallion. They also have players like Diallo. I believe they also have a player in Dorado, I believe, who's also played at a high level. So they have a very stacked attack for Stallion. They also have a player Tariq Shibab, 5 years in the Brighton youth and appearances for England youth national team. Actually played his last game for the English youth national team, and his captain that game was a certain Curtis Jones, who's now one of the captains of Liverpool. So that's how highly regarded these Stallion players are, and not all of them have even played on the pitch today. So it's a deep squad, which is important for whatever they want to achieve this season.
Definitely. In Stallion Laguna, whenever they get players, they really get high quality players. They're very good in that department. Sourcing international players and bring it here in the PFL. And sorry, for the Philippine Army, we do have a player out just by the goalpost. I think that's Chai Villasenor.
Well, it's not ideal because now they're going to have to play momentarily with a man less. And even worse, it's not the first time this match they've done that. Again, injuries, not ideal to any team.
Definitely. And defender pa to si Chai Villasenor. So, medyo kulang sila on the back.
Yeah,
Stallion will definitely capitalize on that.
yeah, definitely Stallion, not the team you want to lose a player against, especially their attack. I think Army could just do with slowing down the game, maybe even putting the ball out, because the substitutions for them are readying up.
Great passage of play for the men in green. Going forward, the left side. Tries to cross it in, but it's just direct to Landres. Again, look at Landres. Parang sinasabi niya, hey guys, wake up. Match not over. Want the clean sheet. But on the other side, you have Kedman. Speedy Kedman on the left side. Tries to put in the middle. But it is out. For a corner kick, it seems. And we do have the substitutions here for Philippine Army.
Substitution for Philippine Army FC.
We have Miller.
Player number 11, Chai Villasenor, replaced by player number 93, Jella Alarva.
Alarva.
Another substitution for Philippine Army
93.
FC.
Being
Player
substituted
number
in.
19, Mark Lina de
Villasenor,
Guzman,
de Guzman.
replaced by player number 44,
Substituted
Mela
up.
Quiapa.
We're almost at the end of this match. A lot of tired legs out there. Hence the substitution. And Philippine Army just doing their best to hold on. Not allowing more goals. They've conceded enough. But there is this corner kick from Stallion Laguna. Ooh, bit of contact there. But it is off target. I think that was Sandra. Took a shot. And another substitution here for Stallion Laguna naman.
Substitution for Stallion Laguna
Agustin
FC.
Peña, jersey number 68.
Player number 6, Ricky Sandla, replaced by player number
And
68,
Amir for jersey number
Justin
77.
Peña. Another substitution for Stallion
Squad
Laguna
rotation now for
FC.
Stallion. Again, their next match is a big one, so they want a completely fresh squad. And at the same time, they have the privilege of high-quality players on the bench. So we're seeing both of that right now. And it's the end of the day also for Kedman. So like Trujillo, Galiana Trujillo, no goal to show for it, but assists to show for it. And it's been a good performance from him as well.
Same with Sandra, who in the early moments of the match, in midfield, an important role in the attacking front. So head coach Ernest Nieras would be happy with the performance of the two. And you can see here, 6-0, McDaniel with 5 goals, and Schrock as well in the goal sheet. Only roughly 10 more minutes into this match. See Ivanovsky now here at the left side. Just tried to get that ball in. Good hustle from the substitute. McDaniel takes a shot. Ooh, just far off. And it is a goal kick for Philippine Army.
Well, Finn McDaniel looking for another goal. Now at 7 this season. So he's by far the lone top scorer for Stallion. Again, he didn't actually start the season with Stallion because he was still in Germany at the time. But he is back now and making a mark on the league.
Ivanovsky moving forward, getting past a couple of defenders. Involvement here from the new substitute, Amir. Head coach Ernest Nieras urging his players to push forward. You can press high here, not allowing Philippine Army to have any possession. Forces Del Yarte to go long.
Yeah, you can just see it, especially in the dying moments of this match, that this Army team a little bit deflated given the way things have panned out in the opening 82 minutes. You can just see their energy levels dropping in the second half. Again, still the only team now in the PFL yet to win because Don Bosco Guerrero got their first last week.
An opportunity here for Philippine Army. A lot of players in the box. And a shot taken. Ooh, got contact but wasn't accurate enough. Consolation goal sana for the men in green.
Yeah, that was a good chance actually for Army. That was, I believe that was Margarce on the end of it. And he had an open chance. Couldn't get it on target. You do imagine a volley on target there could have tested Landreth, who at the moment is still keeping his clean sheet. And he'll probably really want that clean sheet also.
Sabi nga sa comment section natin, kahit isang goal lang for Army, sayang. For those tuning in, do use the hashtag WeArePFL whenever you share our stream here at YouTube. Great cover there from Captain Jamar Cortez.
Yeah, back to the drawing board now for Coach Ronel Henner and Army. Can have a chance maybe to do something against Tuloy. But I'd also say for that match, Tuloy are the favorites, given the way they've played this season. That will be next week in the PFL. Again, for Philippine Army, you do wonder where their next win, if there is one, will come from. Because it's a very competitive PFL now. Again, Army actually last time they were in the PFL, they were able to notch a win, I believe. I forgot against who, but they were able to. You do imagine that it's going to be tougher this season because there's now less teams, and at the same time, they've improved.
Ivanovsky tried to get hold of that ball. Army trying to keep possession, but got his pocket nicked. Army playing at the back, a bit dangerous with Stallion Laguna's high pressure. Ooh, you gotta release that. Amir with the ball. A chance here. That was dangerous from Philippine Army.
Yeah, Philippine Army there, just playing with fire, not opting to release the ball from their defensive third.
Terrence Smith heads that away.
Yeah, because of the scoreline, Terrence Smith probably wouldn't get as much credit, but he has been solid there at center back, at left center back against Army. Won all the aerial duels that he's been involved with. No surprise, to be fair, given his height. But he's been a good acquisition for Stallion, itong si Terrence Smith. And he'll definitely be one of their important players in their backline going forward this season.
Guerras moving forward. Janowski, great pass to McDaniel. And I think that was a chip effort. Looking for that top left side corner of the goal. Couldn't convert.
Well, he's had so many chances this match in McDaniel. He has scored 5 of them. And because of that, you probably wouldn't notice the fact that he has had more than just 5 chances. I think in the first half, he had really good chances also to add more, even more to his tally. Again, for Finn McDaniel, chances just seem to come his way, almost like he's a magnet for chances. Definitely a good thing to have as a striker. And I think just one thing that will also be playing in Finn McDaniel's mind, again, he is a Philippine passport holder, and he has already played for the Philippine men's national team. It's probably in the back in his mind also to return to that squad.
I mean, we've seen his skill here in the PFL. Hoping he can take it into an international level.
Whoa.
A long throw. A bit surprised with that, Diego.
I wasn't expecting that. That was a missile from Amir.
That is a substitute. Amir going to the second half alongside Ivanovsky.
By the way, Delariarte has dropped to the ground following that catch from the long throw, which is not what you want to see if you're Philippine Army. He's one of your more reliable players. Has made saves in this match despite the fact that he's already conceded 6. But he's on the ground now following that catch. It's even more concerning actually when players drop to the ground after there was no collision, because it means that there was something internal that happened. But he does look like he'll get back to his feet.
John Kent, Delariarte, very busy in this match. They did have a personal feud against McDaniel. With the amount of shots and taken from the Stallion Laguna striker. Army with the ball.
Well, Landreth is just a few minutes away now from a clean sheet. Same can be said for the backline of Stallion, who at the end of the day have remained solid. They won't get the plaudits because, again, it's been a goal fest. But they've been solid in general. The likes of Villarreal, Nieras, and Smith.
Great distribution from Landreth. It allows them to move forward. Just couldn't find McDaniel. Fast to his feet. Zhang gets it. Amir
There will be a minimum of 4 minutes of
in the
additional
middle.
time.
Couldn't find a pink shirt. And it's confirmed we do have additional 4 more minutes into this match. The right side, Army looking for a consolation goal at least. Being crowded there. Roinick Bernardo, good job for keeping that ball. Tried to play it fast. But Raymar de los Santos blows his whistle to have that free kick retaken.
Well, if you are the backline of Stallion, just a few more minutes now. 3 more to be played, to be precise. I think they'll be really wanting this clean sheet now, actually, because looking at their results so far this season, they've not kept that many clean sheets.
Army. Ooh. A chance there. Couldn't get his laces into it. Sayang yun for Philippine Army. A bit of an offside trap. Ivanovsky pressing. A bit uncertain there. A lot of uncertainty there in the back line.
Well, I think all the Army players were expecting the call, which never came. There was a chance there for Ivanovsky to get on the score sheet. In the end, it was actually good goalkeeping from De La Yarte.
1v1 na sila doon. Moving forward, Stallion. Still pushing forward, looking for the 7th goal maybe. They're more than happy to wind that clock down. They do have the 3 points in this match. In the middle, McDaniel gets it in, a header. And great involvement there from the substitute, Amir. Great cross as well.
Well, that's now 6 goals for Finn McDaniel. Really impressive tally. And at the moment, really building a really strong case for Golden Boot. But that was a really good assist also from Amir. Took down that pass from Zhang. And the cross was perfect. And it's now 7 right before the end of this match.
Daniel, he was counting the amount of goals he had. Look at that header. And that cross was timed to perfection.
Yeah, there was
Great play there.
nothing goalkeeper De La Yarte could do about that. The header, bullet header from McDaniel could get even worse. These dying moments.
Ivanovsky cuts in. A chance maybe. Would he take it? Passes it to McDaniel. Offside. But it was off target anyways.
Nearly getting his 7th there. But there's the full-time whistle. 7-0 to Stallion Laguna FC. 6 goals from Finn McDaniel. And then 1. The first one actually came from Stefan Schrock, who had to be subbed out due to injury. But it's been a really good afternoon for Stallion Laguna, who now are 3rd in the table, at least for the moment, because the other teams will still play their matches this weekend. But a perfect afternoon in general for Stallion. 7 goals and a clean sheet.
What a game here we had,
We
Diego.
thank you for your attendance
It's a goal
and hope you
feast
enjoyed the match
for
as
Stallion
much
Laguna
as we
FC.
did.
It was an amazing match, but definitely
The
one-sided.
next match to be played here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium
have
is
upcoming
between
matches
the
pa
Maharlika FC
for this
and
triple
the
header.
Venezuela PB Men
You can just see here the
FC.
highlights. It's really been
Kickoff is at
Hedman alongside
5:45
Galliana,
p.m.
who's supplying
Again,
McDaniel
we
with
encourage
his
you to visit the official
6 goals.
Facebook, Instagram, and X pages of the Philippines
And
Football League
the attacking
with the handle
trio of Stallion Laguna
@WeArePFL for more details on the Philippines
proves
Football
to
League
be really dangerous, especially on the
2025-26
counters
season.
against the Philippine Army.
We are PFL.
It's just McDaniel the second half. All the replays are just showing him in that center area.
Yeah, McDaniel, just a magnet for chances. Got 6 goals, but had even more chances than just those 6. And you imagine that he'll be Stallion's go-to man for goals in their future matches.
Definitely. And Philippine Army, very difficult match and season for them. They've lost all their matches and back to the drawing board for them. So with that said, it is Stallion Laguna FC 7 against Philippine Army 0. So don't go anywhere. We still got another exciting matchup ahead of us. Once again, my name is Vinny Vinculado alongside Diego Bardero. And we are BFL.
I think the team started a little slow. We didn't really play our game, but once we got that second goal, we really started turning on. Team performed great after that. I myself, I'm pretty disappointed with my own chances. I hold myself to a higher standard, but we move on. And happy to score 6 goals on my 3rd game in. I think the things that went right is we kept our head in the game. You know, it's not easy once you're on a bad start to keep it going, and it's exactly what this team does. Is we put our heads together, and we keep pushing through. So really happy for the fans that they were able to see such a good game from us. Again, wishing we could prove more to you guys, so we'll keep doing that each game on, and please keep supporting Stallion Laguna. Thank you.